Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna start now. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Sorry. Oops, sorry. Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. Thank you, James. So we are the Data Science Analytics Master's program at Georgetown University. So thank you for coming to our information session. So today we will be talking about why data science is important and why data science at Georgetown. And we will be talking about our master's program and application process and application tips. I'm the director of the program, and we have Ms. Heather Conner, the director of the student services. She will also be talking about the different requirements. So if you have any questions, please ask them at the end of the presentation, or you could put them in the chat. We have one of our students here as well to answer your questions, and one of our full-time faculty. So why data science? So this Harvard Business Review, they have published 10 years ago, they have published this article on data scientist is the sexiest job of the 21st century. And they have recently published another article asking, is data scientist still the sexiest job of the 21st century? And even after a decade later, still the demand of data science is increasing, and data science is being used in everywhere, healthcare to politics to disaster management. Data science is making its way all over. So why data science at Georgetown? We give you a rigorous training in this data science, data analytics. We give you a robust knowledge in all of these skills, the core knowledge on data science, especially in big data, cloud computing, deep learning, NLP, advanced machine learning, and much more. We have many electives you could choose from, and for different tracks of your future, for different career paths, you can take different courses. We have many electives. And not only that, you get most of our faculty, they are adjunct faculty, they are full-time working in companies like Microsoft, AWS. So you get this expertise, you get this knowledge, expert knowledge from these professionals, from their professionals in the they are the expertise in their respective fields. And also, Georgetown is a great place for network. We have a big network. We have a network great relationships with these many big companies, and also we invite speakers from these companies, and we have our own career fair where these companies come in and hire our students, and also we have other events that we do with collaboratively with these different companies and much more. And not only, we also organize conferences collaboratively, and not only that, we have also social events that you can make friends. So we have great internship placement, and also a lot of our students do summer internships, spring internships, and also we have, as of right now, we have 100% job placement. A lot of our students work in Facebook, Microsoft, MITRE, Deloitte, and many other. You can see that they work in many other companies. So what makes us unique is that our program is a 2-year program, but if you take summer classes, you can take summer classes and you can complete this program in 1.5 years. So you can take your master's in 1.5 years. And as I was saying before, we have a lot of internships and career opportunities, and we have a lot of connections in the DC area, and we have career coaching, and we have our own writing center that would help you with resume writing, cover letter writing. And also in our program, we have a, as I was saying before, we have a rigorous, it's a very robust and rigorous program, but still we want you to be critical thinkers. We have our the program structure it's in a way that it makes you a critical thinker. We have a lot of real world data science projects in every class. You get to do these projects. We have a lot of other opportunities with companies, and for example, we have this today we got this opportunity to work with NIH, so students get to work with them in these real projects, research projects, and we talk about data storytelling. We have different classes, and these things help students to get a lot of good jobs, and also we help you to increase your communication skills. We have a great alumni network, and we have relationship with this research institute that gives you research scholarships, so you have a lot of opportunities for research as well. So if you like to read about our alumni profile, and we have our own mentorship program, second year students mentor the first year students, you can read here. And now Ms. Heather will talk about the requirements and the application process, the program.
Hi, everyone. As Dr. Perna mentioned, I'm the Director of Student Services for the program. I've been with the program for just about 6 years, so I am a good resource if you have any questions. We will be putting these slides on our website probably tomorrow. So if you haven't caught everything, or you want to go back and review, you're welcome to go to our website and just click on the open house and webinars link, and you can see the slides as well as the recording. So Dr. Perna spoke with you about our program and why you might want to do our program. And so what I'm going to speak with you about is how to get into our program. So first of all, well, not just how to get in, but what is required. So first of all, we'll talk about the program requirements, and then after that, we'll talk about the application requirements. And Dr. Perna will discuss with you some application tips, because I know that right now, you all are in the process of researching schools to apply for, and maybe you've even started our application. If you have any questions while you're working on the application, please feel free to reach out to Dr. Perna or me. We both have a lot of experience, and we try to make the application process transparent. So if you have some questions for us, we're happy to help you along in the process. So first of all, what is required for our degree? It's 10 classes. We don't have a thesis requirement. We don't have a capstone requirement. We don't have a research requirement. So it's 10 classes. That's the academic requirements. We do have a lot of options for enhancing the master's program, as Dr. Perna discussed. So we have a lot of professional and academic events, as well as social events. So in addition to your 10 classes, you'll probably be attending seminars, hackathons, career fairs, and all of the things that Dr. Perna just discussed. So of the 10 classes, we have 5 required core classes. Everybody in our program must take those classes, and that'll be on the next slide. And then we also have 5 elective classes, which we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah, you can go back to the core classes. So these are our core classes. Everybody takes these. You'll see that there's 501 is our intro class. Basically, all of these classes are the foundation for all of our classes in our program, including our elective classes, which you can go to the next slide. We have so many elective options to choose from. So we require that you take 5 electives, 5 core courses, 5 electives. And as you can see, we have so many great options that a lot of our students have trouble choosing which ones that they want to take. We try to make a lot of seats available. So we have extra sections if we need to. We have We hire extra people to teach the classes because we want our students to be able to get the electives that they want. And for the most part, our students don't have trouble with that. We really make an effort to make sure that you get the classes that you want to take while you're here. And we're both available for advising throughout the program. So if you have any questions, you can always talk to us about course selection or your career path, or possibly your further education path. Like if you want to go on for a PhD, some of our students do that as well. Oh my God. So this is an example of what you'd be taking in your first year. As we'll discuss in a minute, we have a boot camp for all of our admitted students. So you'll find out in the spring if you're admitted, and then we'll start sending you information about how to take this online boot camp. It's free for you. It is required, but it's free, and it's asynchronous, and it's self-driven, it's self-paced. So there are modules, weekly modules, and there are assignments that are graded. I'll talk about that in a minute, I guess, yeah. But yeah, I'll talk about the boot camp in a minute. I forgot there's an extra slide for it. But we do require the boot camp, but it's a great way for you to get up to speed. So as you might imagine, we have, as it'll say on another slide, we have people from all majors in our program, which is part of what makes our program unique and really interesting and cool. But people have taken different academic classes. And so part of our goal is to get our students up to speed for fall so that everybody's on a level playing field, especially in terms of programming. So that's what you'd be doing in the summer before you arrive. And then in the fall, you would take our two first year core courses, 501 and 511, and then an elective of your choosing. In the spring, you would also take two required core courses, 503 and 512, an elective of your choosing. And then in the second year, in the summer, we usually offer at least two elective options, and they're always online. So even if you're doing a summer internship or a research assistantship, or you have something else going on, if you'd like, as Dr. Perna discussed, if you are interested in graduating a semester early, you would have elective options online. And those are usually offered in the evening hours. So if you're working during the day, you can take that in the evening. And then in the fall of your second year, you would take our final core course, which is 502 plus two electives of your choosing. And then in the spring, you would take only one class, and that would be an elective. And the reason that our program is designed that way is because any of you who have ever looked for a job, whether it's a full-time job, part-time, or an internship, you know that looking for a job is like a full-time job in itself. And so it's very difficult to take a full graduate school course load and apply for jobs, customize your cover letters, do your interviews and all of that. And so of course, most of our students want to have a job by the time they graduate. And so the way that our program helps you to do that is to give you a lightened course load in the spring, where you would be taking only one elective, and then you could spend the rest of your semester looking for a job. So we do have prerequisites to get into our program. As I mentioned, we have students from all different backgrounds, and not everybody has all of the prereqs. So if you don't have all the prereqs, don't worry, because Dr. Perna or I can help advise you on what you need to do to fill the gaps. So our prereqs, as you can see near the bottom of this slide, are Calculus 1 and 2. Then the second one is some sort of math stats class, like probability and statistics, statistics that's offered by a math department, econometrics. What we can't really accept is statistics that's offered by a business school. Usually we want it to be offered by a math and or stats department. But if you have questions about your prereqs, you can email us and we can let you know. And then finally, we want to see some kind of computer programming in R and Python, because those are the languages that our program uses. So I just lost my train of thought. Oh, wait, can you go back? Yeah. I just totally lost my train of thought. Okay, go to the next slide. I'll remember. It'll come back to me.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So we do have students from all of these different majors and more. And we find that it makes our program really interesting, because if you're in a classroom with people from a lot of different backgrounds, then they can bring different perspectives to the subject matter. So you know, even if you don't see your major in here, don't worry. We love diversity and we can help you. So what I was going to say about the prerequisites is that we use those classes, that knowledge and skills in our graduate classes regularly. So maybe you took Calc 1 and 2, but it was 5 years ago, or even 3 years ago. Let's say you took it a few years ago and the knowledge is not fresh in your mind. The fact that you took Calc 1 and 2, that's great. And our admissions committee would be really pleased to see that. But for your own benefit, we would recommend that you take a refresher course before you come. And so a lot of students have those questions where, well, is this class good enough? Will this class count for admission, for the prerequisites? And part of it is, yes, our committee wants to see that you've taken those classes, that you have the background, and that you got a decent grade, A or B, usually in our prereq classes. But for your own benefit, if you feel like you haven't retained that knowledge, then we would recommend that you take a refresher. And we do have a slide on that. And we also have some recommended courses on our website. So here's the slide. And you can find all of these on our website too. We don't necessarily endorse any particular online classes, but these are some classes that we vetted and we found to be in alignment with our learning objectives of our program. So if you have any questions about how you might be able to fill some gaps, please reach out to us because we can help you with that. But again, you can look at this slide tomorrow, or you can look on our website for more recommendations. So this is the boot camp I was talking about earlier. Again, it's required, it's free, it's self-directed. It's a review of R and Python. So as I said, that is a prerequisite for our program, that you have some intermediate knowledge of R and Python. So this is not an intro class. So you're going to need to take at least some online classes, some intro classes in R and Python if you haven't done that in your college curriculum. We do expect that people are going to be starting this boot camp at an intermediate level. So, coding, as this says on the slide, it's part of data science, and being comfortable with R and Python is critical for success in our program. Again, it's required of all new students. If you have any concerns about what your level of proficiency might be or how that is going to mesh with our program, please reach out to us because, as I said, we're transparent and we want to help. So a lot of questions we get are about GRE and GPA. We do not require the GRE. However, if you've taken the GRE and you're pleased with your score, you're certainly welcome to include it as part of your application. As far as GPA goes, our cutoff is 3.0. So the graduate school at Georgetown will not allow us to admit anyone who's under a 3.0 except with special justifications. So again, if you are in that category where your GPA is under 3.0, but you feel like you have work experience or some other mitigating factor that you think would make you a successful candidate for our program, you can reach out to us and we can talk to you about that. Our average applicant GPA is 3.6. So we do offer some funding for our students. We get a lot of questions about how do your students fund the program. We offer some merit scholarships. Usually the scholarships are the dollar equivalent of 1 or 2 classes at the graduate level. Occasionally we offer equivalent of 3 classes. So during your first year, you would take 6 classes. So if you were to get let's say a 2-class scholarship, then that would be the equivalent of a 1/3 scholarship. There's no separate application for the scholarships. We consider everyone who applies to our program. So if at the same time that our admissions committee reviews your application for admission, they're also reviewing your application for a scholarship. And you'll be notified at the same time that you're notified if you've been accepted to the program. You'll also be notified if you've also been awarded a merit scholarship. We also recommend highly internships for our students. Most of our students do them in the summer between their first and second year, but you are also permitted to do an internship in the fall or spring of your first or second year. And if you have any concerns about that, the time commitment, you can always reach out to us. We also hire our own students as TAs. We had about 50 TAs this semester. And we try to hire as many of our own students as we can, but there are also a lot of opportunities on campus at Georgetown for research assistantships and other on-campus jobs. The cost per credit is here. It's $2,358 per credit. The total for our program is 30 credits. So each class is 10, each of the 10 classes is 3 credits. And then as Dr. Perna mentioned, we have 100% post-grad employment rate. So it's very easy to apply. Just go to our website. There's a button right there. There's actually buttons all over the website that say apply now. So you click there, it'll take you right to the graduate school online application, and you can just follow the instructions. It's quite straightforward. Our final deadline is January 15th, but we do have a priority deadline of December 15th. So what we do is we have a scholarship budget, and we start to award those beginning with the applications that were submitted by December 15th. So if you submit your application by the final deadline of January 15th, we may not have any scholarship money left in our scholarship budget. Sometimes we do, but I would strongly advise everyone to apply by December 15th if you're interested in being considered for a scholarship. So what we're saying here in the bottom of the slide is that when your application is complete, we can review it. So when you do your online application, you'll get instructions for how you can see your checklist, and you can see anything that you're missing. So let's say we require 3 letters of recommendation. Let's say one of them is missing. You can see that in your checklist, and you can even click right on the checklist to send an email to that recommender to give them a reminder, or you can reach out to them separately. So once you see everything checked in your checklist and your application is complete, then your application will be reviewed by our committee. So if your application is complete by December 15th, our goal is to have the decision to you by no later than February 15th. If your application is complete, meaning all materials received by January 15th, our goal is to have the decision to you by March 15th. If your application becomes complete after January 15th, then we try our best to get the results to you as soon as we can, but we can't guarantee. So try to get everything in as quickly as you can.
Okay, thank you, Heather, for that. It's very informative. So I will give you some application tips that, so we are the review committee, we are specifically looking for your programming ability when we are, among many other things, we, to be successful, as Ms. Heather told as well, to be successful in our program, having a knowledge in Python and R is very critical. So if you don't know Python and R, you can take online programs. So if you have taken any online certificate courses, then you can upload your certificates. Don't forget to upload your certificates. And if you are planning to, so let's say that you don't have, you're missing 1 or 2 prerequisites, then you're planning to take online courses. And then if you're planning to do that, then just, and also if you are not graduated yet, but still right now you're applying, then you can just tell us about your prerequisite completion plan. You can say that I'm hoping to take these online courses, and after I take it, I will upload the certificates. So just let us know about your plan. So we are actually looking for this programming ability, and also just tell us where you are on programming, whether you're a beginner level, you're in beginner level or intermediate level or in advanced level. It is good if you're in intermediate level or advanced level. Beginner level is also okay. I mean, we will not count it against your application, but it is good for us to know so that we can tailor our boot camp accordingly, so that we know what to expect and what to include more in the boot camp that will help you. So, so please specifically talk about your programming knowledge and your statistics and mathematics knowledge specifically as well, because these things are very important to be successful in our program. Yeah, so as I was telling before, our program is very robust, and it gives you rigorous training in data analytics and many more. And our goal is to make our students critical thinkers, not only just coders, but critical thinkers and good at communication skills and much more. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please, you can ask now, and you can email us anytime at gradanalytics@georgetown.edu.
And we also, as Dr. Perna mentioned, we have a student with us. It's Siana Zhang is here, and Siana can answer any questions if you have a specific question about a student experience or anything that you want to ask her. If you've ever emailed us at gradanalytics@georgetown.edu, Siana may have written you back because she's one of our student ambassadors. So she represents the program from a student perspective. So feel free to ask questions of her in the chat as well. Let's see. There is a question in the chat. Any statistics on what companies are hiring your graduate? Any statistics on the average median starting salaries? Do you want to take it, Prerna? Do you want me to take it?
We don't have any statistics right now. We haven't calculated. What are you asking, like specifically what companies, like what is the percentages of different companies hiring our own students? So as I was telling before, our students are working in these companies, and they have done internships in these companies.
And we actually, just for the sake of being sensitive to our alum, we actually don't ask them, when we ask them about their career outcomes, we don't ask them what their starting salary is. So we don't necessarily have that information either. It's sort of private.
Yeah, they work in many different places, so we haven't calculated specific statistics for specific companies, but we have a lot of students work at MITRE and Deloitte, and Amazon, and yeah, a lot of places.
It's somewhat hard to get those statistics as well. Like exactly as Heather mentioned, I've had multiple degrees, and I've never had a school reach out to me to ask for that. None of the schools that I've attended have reached out to ask for that information, and if they have, I've ignored it. So lots of people, people don't really answer those surveys a lot of times. A lot of alumni, once you're done with school, there's a pretty high, you're done, and the response rate on those kind of things are very low.
Yeah, these are places you can learn more on R and Python, but if you were asking about specific, certification, we could provide you with more. We could provide you more resources on that.
I put a link in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. How do you define the level of programming? For example, expect a student in advanced level can do. James, would you like to take this?
Sure. So how do you define the level of programming? For example, what do you expect student in advanced level can do? So there's a lot of growth throughout the program. A lot of students come in with, boot camp. We go through sort of, there's an expectation of, as Heather said, that you're familiar with Python coding and have done it before. It's not the first time you've seen it, but the boot camp goes through like just the whole process of Python all the way, especially with a strong emphasis on NumPy and Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, those sort of things. So that's all right before you even start the program. That's in the summer. Throughout, there's again a lot of growth in the students throughout the program. By the end, you should be very, very comfortable with Python. Python are, like, I would say, like expert level in like no problem. If someone gives you an advanced data science problem, involving implementing neural networks or image processing or NLP, like advanced NLP tasks, that should be no problem for you. You should know where to start, be able to digest the data, convert the image data into the appropriate formats, reformat the data, clean the data, anything that needs to be done. So you really like by the end of the program, you should be basically expert level in both, data science, Python as applied to data science. So there's things that we don't, it's not a software development program. There's things that we don't touch on because the emphasis is on data science. So it's sort of computational side of Python, NumPy, Pandas, PyTorch, all those sort of things, Keras, TensorFlow, any kind of, all the sort of well-known libraries that are central to data science, but then, we don't touch on other aspects that are not related to data science. So there's plenty of, there's there's thousands of Python libraries, so we can't cover every single one of them. We just focus on the ones that are most relevant to data science.
Thank you, James. So we have another question. Any plans to add any electives that mesh with political sciences or social sciences? We have a data science program and public policy, and some of the courses are cross-listed. So if you like to take a course in another program, you can do that. You're allowed to do that as well. Does Georgetown have graduate level housing?
So Dr. Perna, Sienna and I have been answering some of the questions in chat.
Sorry.
So it's okay. We actually didn't answer that one about political science, but we did answer the one about housing and working full time, and the next one about coding certificate in R. Then I think that's all we've answered. So then Stacy asks, the application portal does not have a space to send official transcript. Do we need to send official transcript or just self-reported one? So you're right. It's not an official transcript that you upload. Official technically means that it comes directly from your institution, but what you need to upload is something that you can download from your college, not screenshots of your student portal. It needs to be something that you get from your school that looks like an official transcript, but the only thing that makes it not official is that it was distributed to you rather than the institution sending it to us. And that's what they're looking for in the application. Once you are accepted to the program, then you will have until fall semester, beginning of fall semester, to ask your institution to send an official transcript.
Thank you. And also about this question on Python and R certification. I mean, if you have experience, then you don't have to submit a certificate. If you have experience, that's great, but also just talk about specifically where did you get this experience and where did you use this? Did you use it in projects? Just a demonstration of your knowledge in both of these languages. That would be great for the committee to make a decision. So that's why I was asking, just talk specifically about your knowledge in R and Python.
I also wanted to mention concerning the political science question, you do a lot of projects in the program and you get to choose the emphasis of those projects. So you really can grow in a particular subject matter area by, tailoring your projects to your specific academic interests. So there's a lot of flexibility to pursue those kind of paths. Everyone can, you can go down one trajectory or a finance trajectory or wherever, you really get to kind of choose your own adventures. So there's a lot of room there for you to pursue your own academic interest.
Yeah. Is the summer boot camp absolutely required? Is it difficult to complete while working a summer internship? What is the time commitment for the boot camp? So this is very, self-paced, and a lot of students do complete the boot camp while they are doing a summer internship, and this is required because we have tailored this according to our program. So even if you have programming knowledge, if you're coming with advanced programming knowledge, we will still recommend you highly to complete this boot camp because we have tailored everything according to what we are going to doing the program. So it's kind of like you're getting ready for our classes. So we recommend highly to do the boot camp so that you will get an idea on what will be covered in our classes. I mean, I think it is very critical to be successful in our program.
Yeah, but to your point, Dr. Perna, I don't think that any student, or almost close to zero students, have done the boot camp exclusively and not done anything else the whole summer. Like nobody really dedicates their entire summer to the boot camp. You know, like everybody has other things going on, and we totally understand that. And the boot camp was designed with that in mind.
Yes, exactly.
It's also depends on, you know, your background. If you're really already competent in Python, like, you know, you probably can breeze through a lot of the stuff relatively quickly. If you're new to Python, you know, so it's not the same for everyone. Some people it's going to take longer. I would probably, it's mostly like notebook based. So there's a lot of like tutorial type Jupyter notebooks that you have to work through, you know, step by step, do this, do that, do this, do that, and work through it. And again, if you're already quite familiar with Python, you probably go through it very quickly. There's videos for where we kind of work through the content. So if you are struggling with things, you know, you can refer to the video and someone will help you work through it. So there's a lot of resources. Time wise, I wouldn't, it's not going to take up your entire summer. You know, it's probably like anywhere from 5 to 10 hours a week, depending on your skill level. And it could be even less, you know, if you're already very competent with Python and R, you might be able to get it done in even less than that time. So I wouldn't be too worried about like not being able to pursue other interests during the boot camp. It's you should have plenty of time to do both.
Yeah, it's self-driven. But you have a lot of instructions. And we have even recorded videos, and Dr. James explained it very well. Yeah, we have a lot of it's kind of like tutorials. You just follow the instructions. It's pretty easy. Do you have, sorry?
There's a question about self-driven.
That's what I was, yeah.
Oh, that's the one you're addressing, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, do you have my programs to provide students with job or internship assistance? We have a lot of, I'm not sure, do you have my programs? Oh, yeah, we get these job postings from a lot of companies that we have relationships with, or any company. They would email us with these job opportunities, internship opportunities. And so Miss Heather always send emails about these job openings. And also we have a lot of career guidance. We have a graduate school career center, and we have a lot of seminars in our program that is actually specifically addressing about resume writing, cover letter writing, and we prepare you for internship. We have this interview workshop, how to face interviews, and also we have these second year students give a talk. I mean, they talk about their internship experience, how they prepared for this internship, how they found this internship. So we have a lot of help for finding jobs and internships. And we have our own career fair. As I was saying before, a lot of companies, they come in and they hire our students. Are applications and scholarships any different for international students? No.
No, it's all the same.
All the same. Any other questions?
Again, if you want to ask questions now, that's great. We have the time. That's why we're here. If you don't want to, or if you think of something later, which you inevitably will, you can email us at gradanalytics@georgetown.edu, or you can also consult our website. We have a lot of information on our website, and this recording and our slides will be up there tomorrow. But we're here and we have time if anyone wants to ask more questions.
Do you have any tips on writing personal statement? Heather?
Yes, I do. So basically what we want to know is, why are you a good fit for our program? And why is our program a good fit for you? So, when we started in 2015, we were one of 3 master's programs in data science in the United States. Now, almost every university has a master's program in data science. So we want to know why you chose us and why you think that you're a good fit for us, and why do you think we're a good fit for you? And the other thing I would just say to think about is, kind of like the who, what, why kind of questions, who are you? What have you been doing? Why do you want to pursue data science? Why do you want to pursue a master's degree in data science? What do you want to do with your master's degree in data science? It seems sort of silly when you say it in a straightforward way, but a lot of people sit down to write this and they think, I don't know what to say. And so they go back to their childhood and start telling us all of their childhood stories. And, that's fine. But what we really want to know is, like, who are you? Why do you want to join our program? Why do you want to be a data scientist? What do you want to do with this degree? Just very straightforward, practical questions. So if you think about it in those terms, hopefully it will be easy for you to structure. You can also, you don't have to think of the statement of purpose as being extremely rigid or structured. You can do whatever you want. So if you want to make different sections, let's say, you can do that. If you are, like Dr. Perna said, if you're missing a prerequisite or 2, but you have a plan for taking those, you can have a section on your statement of purpose called prerequisite completion plan. And you can just write a paragraph about, I realize that I'm missing these prereqs. Here's what I'm going to do to fill the gaps. If you have a question earlier from Jorge in the chat was, I have a lot of class experience or work experience, let's say in R, or let's say Python, but I don't have any certificates to prove that I've demonstrated knowledge in R and Python. You can make a section on your statement of purpose that's class projects or work experience, and you can write a little paragraph about each one, demonstrating to our committee how you've used R or Python. So something that's really important is that a lot of our applicants will put that on their resume, because resume is part of the application. So people will just say R, Python on their resume, but as we're reviewing the application, sometimes it's difficult for us to know. So maybe you've taken an intro to computer programming class and we see that on your transcript, but we don't know what language you use. We don't know what level of programming it was. So the more that you can explain to our committee, the better, so that we don't have to guess and we can see right there, look, they did 3 class projects on R Python. That would be amazing. So again, you don't have to worry too much about having a very structured statement of purpose. You can split it into sections if that's what makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, really make sure to include that. I mean, just reiterating what Heather said, really make sure to emphasize and explain as much as possible about your Python and R experience, because that is a very important thing that we look for. And, the more, the better, basically.
Yeah, and so there's a question, how many people tend to apply and get accepted? We have around 50 to 60% acceptance rate. There's the class project, prerequisites, illustration section, count towards 500 limits.
Oh, I see what you're asking, Stacy. So the suggested limit is 500 words, I believe. I think that that's what you're asking. But there's no cutoff. So it's, if you, I don't even think that, you know, it's a PDF that you would upload. It's not like you type it into a form and then you're cut off after a certain number of words. That's just the suggested limit. So really, we do get a lot of applications and our admissions committee is very busy reading them. So we do recommend that you don't go over 2 pages. But if you do, and it makes sense for you to explain these different things to us, then that's okay. But we typically recommend 1 to 2 pages. But again, that's just a suggested limit.
Yeah.
Any more questions? See, before we said that there were no more questions, and then we got some more questions. So
Yeah.
again, we're always available. So if you don't want to ask it right now, or you think of it later, then please just email us. We also, the grad analytics email address, I monitor, and also our student ambassadors. So Sienna, who's here and is helpfully answering a lot of the questions in chat. She's our senior student ambassador. She's a 2nd-year student. And then we have a couple of other student ambassadors for 1st-year students. And just in general, if you are interested in getting a student's perspective about the program, they will be honest and straightforward with you. So if you do just want to talk to a student, you can email gradanalytics@georgetown.edu, and you can even have a phone call or a Zoom meeting with a student ambassador if you'd like.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.